Hello, dear viewers, and welcome to Unwired. Today we have something very, very special for you, and it is this, the Asus Eee PC. Now, this hotly touted, much anticipated answer to the one laptop per child project is now available on sale, not just to people in third world countries and developing nations, but to you and I here in Britain or across the pond. Now, this model that I've got here is the 701, and it comes with 512 megs of memory, a 900 MHz Intel Celeron processor, and a 4GB solid-state disk drive. And let me tell you folks, this is a pretty nifty machine. Now if we look down the side, you can see the modem and network ports, as well as the USB and audio. On the other side here, a more USB, a memory card slot, and a VGA out for connecting to a larger monitor. No optical drive on the EPC. You're going to be getting what media you can store on that 4GB drive from the internet. Now the EPC has wireless networking built in too, and some models also come with a SIM card slot for 3G connectivity, and that makes it a truly portable, ultra-portable machine. As we fire it up, we can see on this 7-inch screen that the OS is a flavour of Linux. And the first thing that we can see is that it's super quick to boot, about 15 seconds maybe from a cold start. Looking at the interface, Asus has succeeded where many others have failed, in making Linux really simple. The user interface is self-explanatory, and you never really need to open the manual. If you've got even a passing familiarity with the computer interface, you'll be fine here. The home screen is broken into tabs across the top. There's standard work applications, Firefox is pre-installed, and OpenOffice is on here too, which is compatible with anything from Microsoft in terms of word processing and spreadsheets, which is definitely a good thing. For those who really want the Windows comfort factor, there's even a version of Solitaire. Now as I'm using this, it's quiet, super quiet. And that's because there's no noisy hard drive to wear away, and also no optical drive to spin up every few minutes. And that makes for quite a pleasant working environment actually. No computer noise is brilliant. And because of the lack of moving parts inside the machine, you'll also find that unlike some modern laptops, it really doesn't get that hot at all, keeping your lap nice and cool. Perhaps the biggest problem with the machine is that the keyboard is pretty difficult to use. It's very small, and the trackpad is also at a slightly awkward angle, a bit too close and small for my big man hands, but probably fine for kids. Now there's one button on the trackpad, very Apple-esque, but the tactile feel of it isn't very good, and sometimes you're not really sure whether you've clicked or not. Now if we test the weight, the EPC is pretty light. Now Asus says that it's under 1 kilogram, and I can quite believe that. As I'm using it here, things open up quickly, web pages are rendering pretty nippily, even though the resolution is a little low for most modern web pages. When it comes to battery life, you can easily get north of 4 hours out of this machine, even when surfing the web wirelessly. So the EPC is actually a very usable machine, and I have to say this took me a little bit by surprise. I mean, for 200 quid, what do you expect? But it's pretty impressive. You can take it down to Starbucks and get your work done. You can take it into a lecture theatre inconspicuously and type up your notes. And really, it's just a great little portable work machine. If you add in the fact that the Linux OS is fully customizable, and you can add in your own programs for it, given a little bit of computing savvy, this is going to be a fantastic platform for the open source development community to get to work on. And I can just dream of some of the amazing tools that I know are going to be developed for it in the next 6 months. This is really a hobbyist hacker's dream. Now as a techie, the EPC makes for a great companion machine to a bigger desktop or notebook. But I can imagine that for kids, some students and maybe even adults, the EPC could be all you need. I mean, most people spend their time doing internet, email and word processing, and this handles that just fine. Now, we haven't really seen the sub-notebook form factor around for quite a while now, not really since the days of the Scion 7. And not even Palm's Folio could manage to reignite this much maligned form factor. But the Asus EPC does a great job, and at 200 quid is simply a steal. So well played Asus for pulling a rabbit out of the hat. This gets a fantastic 5 stars.